as I said, we're getting super local. We've got a former Providence Fire Battalion Chief, now turned Ward 8 City Council candidate, Jim Taylor, around the corner. Please come on in.
Kate, thank you for having me.
James Taylor.
Thank you.
Appreciate your coming in to talk about deciding to run for the City Council seat in Ward 8. Introduce yourselves to folks. I mean, why did you decide to run?
Well, 30 years ago, I came on the Providence, 28 years ago, I came on the Providence Fire Department. I came from North Kingstown, moved to the city of Providence because I had the residency law. And I was always giving back to the community with the fire department. And also, I was vice president and president of the Elma Little League for 11 years. And giving back there. Now I'm retired, and it's time to give back again to the community.
So have you always had the political bug?
Yes, actually in 1998, the first time I actually helped Councilman Miguel Luna, who passed away, and ever since that day I've always been involved and try to help out the community.
Okay, so let's talk about the pressing issues for Ward 8. Now, we had just done Ward 3 for the special election on the east side. I had all the candidates in. Every ward is unique.
Yes.
What is it in particular that you would be advocating for that you think that you could be doing a better job than the current the council member?
Well, actually, since I retired from the fire department, I started up, my son and I, Matthew, started up a Facebook page, City of Providence Ward 8, last year. And we've put a lot of things is education that I find, that people, they think they can put their sofa out front without calling waste management, and it sits out there for 2 or 3 weeks. Or you get a vacant lot that people dump stuff in and they leave it there. And I've been very active out there for the last year and a half doing those things. Graffiti's a big thing for me, as far as, they don't have that on the east side probably as much, but in the west end, there's a lot of graffiti, and I said, this ward can do better than that. And I've worked with the graffiti task force, and I'd like to give kudos to the graffiti task
They're
force.
very active.
Yeah, especially in the west end. And I know I can ride down now Cranston Street and see the difference, and I hope other people can too, from this year compared to last year. And that's some of the things, and like I said, the education on the Facebook page, it's not all about cleaning up, it's who to contact, who to call, who, some people don't know. If I have, forestry, they may call City Hall, they have to do other things, where I got all the numbers up there, so they can just go to, hey, if I live in Ward 8, I'll go, I know Jim Taylor put that up there.
So do you think, as you just sort of alluded to, city responsiveness is sort of a big issue for folks, and as you said, driving around not knowing about sofas or mattresses, or those kind of quality of life issues, is that sort of the biggest, that quality of life?
Right, that's one thing, if I get in, I want to improve, I've been improving, but I want to improve the quality of life more. As I rode around, you'd see mattresses, Salviti Way, always thrown over in that area. And they'd sit there. So, matter of fact, one night I went 8:30 at night, and there was a U-Haul truck, and they were dumping mattresses. So I called police, but by the time they got there, but I said, you guys can't be doing this.
Oh, legal dumping.
Right, but that's a big problem in Ward 8, where it might not be in other wards. And matter of fact, my son and I, in September, I rented a U-Haul, hooked it in with another councilman, because they were doing a mattress drop, and we picked up over 97 mattresses in Ward 8.
That is a lot of mattresses.
Right, and that's, and ever since that, every Saturday you can find my son, Matthew Taylor, and Dylan Shea, his friend, both 18 years old, thank you, and we're out there every Saturday picking up mattresses. And it's helping. I can see the difference. And actually, I talked to one of the people at DPW, and they said, since you've been doing this, we haven't cited anybody. Because you can't just leave a mattress on
So
your
you're
sidewalk.
literally, sort of taking the bull by the horns, already being involved in that public capacity. People put a little bug in your ear too, because you were so active, saying, maybe Jim, are you thinking about running?
Yeah, a lot of people have said, why don't you throw your name in? I was like, nah, I didn't really. I actually wanted my son to run, but he's got a girlfriend now, and he's going to college, so you got to pay attention to that. But we need change. We need, and a quick story is that the other day I was out there with my son after a Saturday picking up mattresses, and someone came out, we were getting gas, and the guy came over and he said, "Are you Jim Taylor?" And I said, "Yes." And he shook my hand, introduced himself in the ward, and he said, "I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing. It's really showing." So that to me shows that there's problems, and we need to address those. And I felt proud, happy that someone noticed it.
So Ward 8, we kind of touched upon what you think are the important issues to constituents there. You have your own constituency. We're in the fire department. We've seen a lot going on between the fire union and the city. We've seen some kind of rectification from the former legal issues. Do you think Providence residents and the state as a whole really have a sense of kind of what transpired as firefighters were sort of pushing back against that shift change and where we stand today? If you can just give folks a little bit from your perspective, do you think folks have a clear picture?
They have a clearer picture now than what they did when it first started. It happened very quickly back then. And a lot of people, I mean, there was 150 retirements from the fire department, and including me. I was in that retirement. I was not in the union, but at the time, but a lot of people retired. They went to the fire departments, and it was unfortunate because I think they could have sat down and discussed the city and the union like they did to straighten things out. They could have sat down and discussed it and done a better job than what they did for people leaving.
And speaking of fiscal issues, we have a current mayor who says the city's in good financial standing, yet you have folks who say we have this huge outstanding pension liability that really belies that fact. What's your sense, let's go for the city as a whole, is the city in good standing?
Well, I don't, without looking at the books and seeing everything, because I'm not in there, the best that I can sum it up is that these problems didn't happen overnight, and I don't think these problems are gonna be fixed tomorrow. But you need responsible people like myself to sit down and look and say, okay, what is in these books? What can we look at? What is the questions? There's a lot of questions that people don't know, including myself, and I work for the city. And I think those issues have to be addressed, and like I said, it didn't happen overnight, and it's not gonna be fixed overnight, but you need someone down there to look and see exactly what's going on.
Speaking of the books, I know you mentioned in the green room you have a fundraiser coming up. Is fundraising going to be a big part of this? Are you going to be out there pounding the pavement? Can people expect phone calls from Jim Taylor?
Yes, I'm going to be, my first fundraiser is a month from today. It's going to be at the 24/7 Bar and Grill on Cranston Street, 559 Cranston Street, from 6 to 8. See you there, Ward 8 residents. And it will be, but also I'm out there. I've put my phone number out there. I've walked the ward, and a lot of people have called. I can't believe the response that a lot of the ward residents have called and said, hey, who do I call for this, and how can you, or just announcing. I know that you hit me up very early after I put
Probably 5 or 10 minutes. I said, look at this.
Within 5 minutes, she was,
Jim Taylor's running for
I
the
want you in the
council."
office today. It was just last night. But a lot of people today have called and reached out in the ward and said, we want to help you out. So that to me tells that they want change, that they want something new. They want something, they're not happy with what's, and I've been around. I went to one guy's house and he was like, I don't want to talk politics. And he's just disgusted with politics. And I said, what can I do? And he showed me a sidewalk, and he said, the sidewalk was 4 years. He's asking to get it fixed, and it's not getting fixed. And I said, well, they might be able to fix it with asphalt, the holes, but not, cement. And I talked to DPW. Within 2 weeks, that was fixed with asphalt. But I went back, and the guy was like ecstatic. Oh, I can't believe this, and that's what I want. I want to be able to follow up. The best story that I can tell is I've been to plenty of community meetings. So if you're a Ward 8 resident, so you go to the community meeting, and I'm the councilman, and you stand up and say, boy, I have a problem with a tree, about whatever the problem is. And a lot of times politicians will say, oh, Kate, call me tomorrow, and I'll take care of that. Well, I know where you live. So what happens is when you leave, you forget to call me because you're busy. And then I'm not, then you're going to see me 6 months down the road and say, hey, you never, I say, hey, you never called me. So it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect that if I'm there, I know the problem, I should go there the next day, and that's how I want to run things.
So you're kicking off the campaign, came down here into the studio. Anything else you want folks to know about Jim Taylor as we stand here today before you hit the campaign trail?
A lot of people that know me, like with Elmwood Little League, when I retired, when I left the Elmwood Little League, we had 800 kids. I can actually not pat myself on the back because there was other people that was involved with the Elmwood Little League board and politicians. We got the first set of lights at Elmwood Little League, being the largest Little League and it took 50 years to get it. But, we got them. And then since then, since that, they've gotten, second. So people know me as far as if they know me, it's, that I'm a hard worker, and if I say I'm gonna get something done, I'm gonna get it done. And I wanna improve the quality of life in Ward 8. and I want to, you know, help out and move things forward, help out the city. I've always been giving back, and I continue to give back.
So I said, Jim Taylor, you got to come into the studio. You
And
said,
here I am.
here he is. So as he said, running for Ward 8. We'll have more contact info as well. I'm sure we'll be talking in the coming months because election fever is gripping the hub.
Yeah, it's a year away, but it'll come quick. One of the big things that I know I told you earlier was that my son just turned 18, and he posted on Facebook that he was very happy to vote for his first experience voting for his dad that knows, because he's always out there in the community. He was dressed as the Sparkies when we used to go to community events, and I drive the antique trucks and do it, you know, so they've been involved. I brought them up. And that's humbling to know that my son put that out there, that he's gonna, you know, the first election, he's gonna vote for his dad. We better.
Oh gosh, well, that would be very uncomfortable around the Thanksgiving table.
No.
But I know you mentioned the sons are involved. You're talking with folks in Ward 8, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk moving forward.
Yes.
Jim
Thank
Taylor,
you for having me.
thank you for coming in. I'll let
Thank
you
you.
around the corner, and I'll wrap up with folks here. Jim Taylor, former Providence Fire Battalion Chief, now retired, tossing his hat in the ring for Ward 8 on the Providence City Council. Wanted him to come in to tell folks a little bit more about himself, the concerns of the ward, and also citywide as well. As I said, 2018 is heating up. I'm sure we'll talk with him as well as all of the other candidates getting into the ring moving forward. So we appreciate your tuning in to us here at Go Local Live as we bring you the best of national and local politics and news, starting in Washington, D.C. with Jennifer Lawless telling us everything that's going on down there. Roy Moore, Jeff Sessions, North Korea, tax reform. You take your pick. There's plenty taking place. Steve Brown with the Rhode Island ACLU. They had released their concerns, outstanding questions that they have pertaining to the shooting that took place last week on 95. Had him break those down a little bit for us here in studio. Finishing up, Jim Taylor, running for Ward 8 on the City Council here in Providence. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock with The Taste with Rick Simone. We've got a very special show for you, so be sure to tune in then. I'll be back at 4 o'clock with news and politics. So wishing everyone a great Tuesday evening. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your feedback. We'll see you back here in studio tomorrow. I'm Go Local News editor Kate Nagel.